Welcome to the Endless Gap Year podcast, your weekly advice podcast from two moderately successful or barely holding it together Zillennials.
Welcome back to the Endless Gap Year podcast. What are we talking about today, Bryn?
So on today's episode, we are going to talk about comparing ourselves to others, whether that be people in our lives or people on the internet, whatever it is, comparing ourselves to others can be a really challenging thing in our lives, I suppose. Do you often compare yourself to others, Kira?
All the time. I think who doesn't really compare themselves to other people? I think if you don't compare yourself to other people, you've just won life, haven't you? or you're just selfish. I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, I think you do.
Do you find that you compare yourself more to people who are in your life or people who are online, Kira?
I think I compare myself so much to people who are involved in my life, but I don't actually know, but aren't like celebrities or something, but are just like random people that live in my area or something and that have some connection.
So like acquaintances.
Yeah, acquaintances. And I stalk them on social media like there's no tomorrow, and I compare myself so much to people like that. How about you?
Do you want me to keep that in the episode that you stalk people?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a shame in that? I don't know.
Sure, I think it's illegal. One of Lewis's friends just got married and he's choosing for them. I'm not sure if that's going to make the episode, Lewis, but
And he's what?
One of his friends just got married. That's something we can actually talk about. Yeah. I don't know how much editing this episode will actually require. But yeah, I think that especially as you're aging up from high school, I think the way that you compare yourself to other people probably changed a bit. I feel like me and you are in different places in our lives at the moment. I feel like you're still in a way in that high school space because you're still in our hometown with all of the people who you went to high school with. So I imagine that a lot of the comparison that you would go through is the same comparison that you used to do in high school.
Yeah. I just compare people on their style. Like I don't compare someone else and like, oh, I'm not thinking, oh, they've got a uni degree, I wish I had that. I'm just thinking like, oh, they've got nice shoes, I wish I had them. I feel like yours would be more professional comparison, whereas mine's just like casual. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's what I mean a bit. Like that's one of the things I think that people compare, like that people are jealous of in a way in high school, is people's style or like their bodies or material things they have, whatever that is. And I think that as you grow into adulthood, the comparison shifts a bit towards other things, like you said, like professional, like where you are in your professional career, or how well you're doing at university, or I don't know how much money you have, things like that. I feel like that's what it shifts towards.
I think comparing yourself is like, although it can be a negative thing sometimes, I reckon for me personally, and I think for anyone that has like a good self-esteem, it's a positive thing. Like I compare myself to someone and then I strive to see, if I see someone going out camping on the weekend, I think, oh my God, I wish I was doing that. Like, why am I not doing that? And then I say, well, I am going to do that. I am going to go out and camp. I am going to like go out and do this. I am going to start going to the gym and like being fit and healthy and happy and eating nice food. It kind of pushes me to achieve goals that I wouldn't achieve just by myself. I kind of need to compare myself to other people and be like, I want to be better than them, you know?
Yeah, so like competition for improvement in a way.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think that because we grew up in a very competitive household, that in a way we do compare ourselves to other people for that sense of competition. I definitely notice that in my professional academic life. I will compare myself or my achievements to the achievements of other people who seem to be in similar positions. But I think that's the thing about comparison and about social media and about just people in general, is you really don't know what's actually going on in their life. You really don't know what's going on behind the scenes to help them achieve all of those things. I think it's very easy for us to sit here and compare ourselves to someone and feel really bad about how little achieved in comparison, or how what we're achieving doesn't feel like as much as someone else. But like, we might be facing a lot more than another person. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that, Kira?
Yeah, I think going back to growing up in a competitive household, I think I feel like a big topic of our childhood, like our relationship, was comparison, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, even though it shouldn't have been, and it wasn't like our parents made it a thing, but it was just that.
I think that's natural, though. I think that siblings do compare themselves because, like, they're the
Yeah,
person you're around.
I guess.
Even if no one's like pitting you against each other, I think that, like, you're looking at that person, like, as a younger sibling, you're looking at that person who's your older sibling a lot, because it's just meant to happen, I think. I don't know.
Well, no, it does happen in other people's families. Like, my friends, they compare themselves to their older siblings quite a lot. I feel like it's the younger siblings always comparing themselves to the older ones. And especially, like, because we went to the same school, all the teachers would also compare us. Especially when I first arrived at school, they'll be like, "Oh, you're Bryn's sister."
I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah. See, I always took it as a bad thing, and I would always say, "Oh, I'm not like her, though." But no. It could have been a good thing. I don't know.
But yeah, what do you think about comparing yourself to people who are in different stages of life than you?
I don't.
No.
No.
Maybe that's something that's just like occurring now in my life, but a lot of the people who I was in school with, or not a lot of them, a handful of the people who I was in school with are either having babies or getting married or getting engaged or all of this. And that's, to me, that's very strange, because I don't feel like I'm at a place in my life to do that. But in a way, you compare yourself to them because that's like what's considered the right thing to do. I don't know.
Yeah. I think the age of getting married is like it is so easily compared between each other. And I think, like, it's a milestone in your life, but everybody's life is different. Some person's going to get married fresh 18, others are going to get married 30, or never at all. Like, you can't really compare yourself to something, even though most humans do get married or like have a connection. I don't know if it's called marriage.
A significant yeah.
It's like we all don't have to do it at the same time, you know.
Yeah. And I think that it can be difficult when you like, especially as a woman, when you see people doing these things that you're really pushed towards, I think. And that's like, our families aren't pushing us towards that, but society in a way pushes you towards doing that. So a lot of the time I feel like you're almost forced to compare yourself to other people, even if you're really confident already.
Yeah, I feel like even watching movies and stuff, even watching, like, you know, Outlander.
Yeah.
Set back. When is it set?
I don't know, like the 1800s, I think.
Yeah. 1700s or something.
I watched it.
Anyway, like, people were having babies and getting married really young then, like fresh out of
in America, people still do that. Like, it's wild. In America, people get married at 18 after just dating in high school. And to me, that is so poorly thought out.
But I feel like that's all the religious people.
Yeah, that's what it is. But
Yeah.
like, I don't know, it's a lot to me for people to do that. I think that's well, no, I think it's true. I think that often an aspect of that is religion. But I think one of the things that's odd in my life at the moment is that the people who I know who are either having babies or getting married, none of them are particularly religious. So it's not like it's a thing that's driven by religion.
Yeah.
And
I
interesting.
think thinking, oh, I'm going to miss out on having a baby, so I do it.
Yeah, I don't, like, I'm not, like, that's the thing, I'm not concerned about any of that, but still I compare myself. And like, that's how I know that it's a social thing rather than a me thing.
Yeah. Do you reckon you compare yourself to your partner?
No, not really. I feel like we're in a partnership for a reason because we're good together. So I don't feel
Yeah.
like
I feel like when
I never compare myself to Lewis.
I was going to say is when I was living with someone, I felt like comparing myself to them, or this, what I'll do, I'll compare myself to like the jobs they'd done that day. So then I would do more jobs than them.
No, I don't do that, but I do have a lot of internalized guilt over things in the house not being done. I'm really trying to work through that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like living with like someone in general, I would just do that. Like not even a partner. I would just be like, oh my God, they washed up and like washed their car and blah, 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 and like vacuumed their bedroom and stuff. I've got to do all this stuff. And then I'll go like,
I don't do that. I think that I'm in general. Pardon?
So I think that's good comparison because then you get shit done and you feel good about yourself. You know, that's motivation.
Yeah.
Comparison is motivation.
Okay, I'm not sure that should be the tagline of the podcast because I don't think comparison is necessarily a good thing. Like, I don't think it always has to be bad, but I think a lot of the time when people are doing it, like, it stems from a place of insecurity or jealousy. And I think,
Yeah, I was going to say maybe it just depends on your mindset.
yeah, I think that if you're secure enough in yourself to not be jealous and feel put down by comparing yourself to someone else, or on the other hand, to feel pride and like bad pride. I don't know how to. Yeah, I think that if you're not being conceited about your comparison and not like, I don't know, not putting other people down because you're better than them, or putting yourself down because you feel other people are better than you. I think that if you're comparing yourself, like you're saying you do, Kira, and you do it in a positive way and it motivates you to be better and change yourself, then I don't think that's a problem. But I think that most people wouldn't do that.
Or I just stop thinking about it if it starts to get negative. Like recently I've been watching, you know, Bridgerton. I started the second season, right? And I got through
Bridgerton.
Pardon?
What have you thought of Bridgerton so far?
Well, I'm only up to like the second episode of the second season, and I think it's just a like kind of like I don't know. What I was going to say was I've got up to this part, and the main character, the main guy character, Bridgerton guy character. Anyway, he's being like rude to some other bloke, and I had to stop watching and go to bed because I can't watch that. It makes me cringe. I hate it when people are rude and embarrass themselves in movies. I can't watch that. It's so
I can't watch things that embarrass other people. I'm like, I know that this is cringy, but I'm too much of an empath that like I feel empathy for the people in the thing. So
yeah,
like,
so
I can't watch comedy films because I feel bad about the comedy film because they're usually like making fun of other people in some way or making fun of themselves. I can't watch it. I watch Bridgerton though because it's quite simple.
Yeah.
And I just watched the second season and then I went and read all of the books because I had nothing better to do with the weekend. So I read all 8 books. Yeah, so I know what's coming next. The books, I wouldn't say the books are literary masterpieces, but they're nice.
Yeah, well, they're nice for you because you read them in like 2 seconds. They would not be nice for me. They would drag on for like 5 months each book.
I read 8 of them in 2 days.
Yeah.
And
See what I mean?
all day. Yeah. They're not very long. They're only like 300 pages each.
But I think that's actually a real issue that we have is like not being able to watch things because it makes us feel so bad for the character. Surely that's really like not good.
Yeah, well, I can't imagine it's good for the movie. They're not selling it to us. They're not profiting off it.
Yeah.
I'm.
That's why I only watch movies that I've watched previously.
Oh,
That's all movies I watch, unless I'm watching it with someone else.
Like, for example, I've watched Friends so many times and also The Big Bang Theory because I don't find them uncomfortable because I've watched them so many times that they become like a
safe
comfort, like a safety blanket, like a comfort movie. So if I'm ever feeling bad and like I want to watch something, that's what I'll watch. Like, is that your foot?
Yeah.
I feel like this episode is going to be a very strangely chatty episode.
Yeah. What have you been up to this week? I would like to tell something to the podcast.
Okay, go ahead.
So last time I was talking...
I have to say, I feel like we should have started with this bit, but that's fine. Anyway, continue.
Last week, I was talking about wanting to get a manager's position at my work, and I got it.
How's that been going for you?
It's been going good. Actually, it's been very stressful, and I did put my letter of resignation in, but they offered a pay rise, so I'm staying. So it hasn't been good, actually. No, it's been all right. It was very stressful, though, and a very big change.
Do you feel like you're comparing yourself to other people in this new role?
Oh, yeah, somewhat. I definitely am comparing myself to the old manager that I never met because apparently she was really good. And I know, like, I've come to accept that I'm not going to be as good as her. But
it's impossible to compare yourself to her then because you've never even met her. So you can never live up to that impossible standard.
Yeah, kind of not really caring to me that much because I don't know what I'm comparing myself to. So, but no, my previous people who have been my manager, I compare myself to them, but only positively and constructively.
Yeah,
which is good. That's good, but I do. Pardon?
I said it's good that you're able to do that positively.
Yeah, but I do compare my cafe to other cafes, which is probably negative.
Yeah, but that's also what business is, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Analyze your competitors to be able to do business.
Yeah. Yeah, especially owning your own business. Because it's just all you, isn't it?
Exactly.
It's all on you.
Exactly. I feel like there's a lot of comparison between female startup or like female entrepreneurs or female business owners, especially with social media, with people like, I don't know, for example, Grace Beverly, right? Who clearly became successful because she was already incredibly well off. She was a rich white woman with millions of dollars behind her. And then she had a massive Instagram following. So obviously you can sell product based off that, right? And even though I'm in a completely different space with my business than she is, I'm not creating any products in my service-based business, still it's really difficult not to compare yourself to the success of these people, even though I know that they've had, so much more, they're in a much more privileged position than I am. I don't know. It's an interesting thing.
No, that's my chair. I was going to say, I compare my car to lots of people. I want a ute so bad.
I feel like we've had nothing good to say on this topic.
That's because it's a pretty, you can only have 2 conversations about it and that's it.
So our advice consists of you saying that you just need to be confident and then it will be motivation rather than comparison. Me saying
that's good.
Yeah, but if people aren't confident, it's irrelevant then.
Be confident and no one will question you. That's one of my life mottos.
And then
Just
my advice
be
is,
confident.
my advice is not advice. I've just said that I compare myself to people academically and professionally and to privileged white women. And so then we've also talked about Bridgerton, Outlander, The Walking Dead, and what was the other thing we talked about? I can't even remember at this point. Oh, you're fucking job.
I compare myself to tradies who have nice utes.
Oh, yes, and that. How about we end on that solid piece of comparison advice, information? I don't know what to call it, that tidbit. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this week's episode of the Endless Gap Year podcast. It's probably the strangest episode you'll ever hear us record, but I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. And please tune in next Tuesday to listen to me tell my story about living and working as an au pair in Italy and all of the craziness that ensued after that. Do you have anything you'd like to say before we leave, Kira?
Be confident and no one will question you. Everything happens for a reason. People change so you can learn to let go. Things go wrong so you can appreciate them when they're right.
Okay, with this wonderful advice,
That's Marilyn Monroe, by the way, my girl.
And a loud Lewis starting to move around the house, I'm going to end the podcast. Bye-bye, everyone. See you next week.
Bye.